Hi, the topic is complexity of an algorithm. Alright, what do we mean by complexity? Which is very important as far as algorithm is concerned. Okay, we cannot skip that definitely. So let's go ahead and and define what is that all about. So the term complexity, the term algorithm complexity measures how many steps are required by the algorithm to solve the given problem. So it evaluates the order of count of operations executed by an algorithm as a function of input data size. Alright, that's what we can say about the complexity. Okay, what we mean by complexity in algorithm. So to assess the complexity, the order, approximation of the count operation is always considered instead of counting the exact steps. Okay, so we always take approximate, instead of counting the exact number of steps, as we are going to see later. All right, so then big O of F notation represents the complexity of an algorithm, which is also termed as the asymptotic notation or big O. Asymptotic notation is one of the upcoming tutorial, where we are going to go into detail in as far as that topic is concerned. So here the F corresponds to the function whose size is the same as that of the input data. So the complexity of the asymptotic computation big O of F determines in which order the resources such as the CPU time, memory, etc. are consumed by the algorithm that is articulated as a function f of the size of the input data. Right? So the complexity can be found in any form such as constant, logarithmic, linear, quadratic, cubic, exponential, etc. It is nothing but the order of constant, logarithmic, linear, and so on, the number of steps encountered for the completion of a particular algorithm. So to make it even more precise, we often call the complexity of an algorithm as a running time. Alright? So typical complexities of an algorithm are we have constant and complexity. It imposes a complexity of big O of 1. Of course, you may not understand that as for now, but just keep that in mind. As we move forward and we take an example, everything becomes clear. So this constant complexity, it imposes a complexity of big O of 1. It undergoes an execution of a constant number of steps like 1, 5, 10. So for solving a given problem. So the count of operations is independent of the size of data. That means if you have actually an algorithm that does not depend somehow on the size of the input, then definitely is a time constant. And we take it as a big O of 1. Right? We have logarithmic complexity. It imposes a complexity of big O of log n. So it undergoes the execution of the order of log n steps. Right? So to perform operations on n elements, it often takes the logarithmic base as 2. For example, you may have 1 million n equals to 1 million. An algorithm that has a complexity of big O of log n will undergo 20 steps, which is a constant precision. Here, the algorithmic base does not hold a necessary consequence, for the operation count order, so it is usually omitted, right? If you can, you may write it, if you want 2 log n base 2, all right, but omitted, we always omit it. So we have the linear complexity. It imposes a complexity of big O of n. It encompasses the same number of steps as that of the total number of elements to implement an operation on n elements. For example, if there exist 500 elements, then it will take about 500 steps. Okay, basically in linear complexity, the number of elements linearly depends on the number of steps. Okay, so for example, the number of steps for n elements can be n divided by 2 or 3 times n. It does not matter. All right, so it also imposes a runtime complexity of big O of n log n. Okay, we can also take that as a linear complexity. All right, so it undergoes the execution of the order n times log n on n number, okay, of elements to solve a given problem. For a given 1000 elements, the linear complexity will execute 10,000 steps for solving a given problem. Okay, so we have the quadratic complexity. It imposes a complexity of big O of n squared. So for n input data size, it undergoes the order of n square count of operations, okay, on n numbers of elements for solving a given problem. So if n is equal to 100, it will endure 1000, okay, 10,000 steps. So in other words, whenever the order of operation tends to have a quadratic relation with the input data size, it results in quadratic complexity. All right, so for example, for n of elements, the steps are found to be in the order of 2 times n squared divided by 2. Okay, of course, don't bother, okay, don't worry too much about these concepts as we move forward and take example, okay, because as for now we have not yet covered, okay, many topics, so that we can take a sufficient example and show you what is that all about. But we should have this in mind as we move forward, right, so that it become simpler, okay, as we take the examples. So we have also the cubic complexity. It imposes a complexity of big O of n cubed. So for n input data size, it executes the order of n cubed steps on element, okay, of n elements to solve a given problem. So for example, there exist 100 elements. It is going to execute 1 million steps. Okay, and we also have the exponential complexity. It imposes the complexity of big O of 2 to the n, or big O of n factorial of big O of n, okay, to the k. So for n element, it will execute the order of count of operation that it is exponentially dependable on the input, okay, data size. So for example, if n is equal to 10, then the exponential function 2 to the n will result in 1024, okay, operations. So that's it about the quadratic, exponential, cubic, constant, and logarithmic linear complexity. Okay, very important as far as this topic, okay, algorithm is concerned. So we will stop, okay, for there as for now, and then let's move ahead and talk about how to approximate the time taken by the algorithm. Basically, okay, so to find out, we shall first understand the types of the algorithm we have. We have basically two types of algorithms: iterative algorithm, okay, and recursive algorithm. Iterative algorithm is nothing but, okay, in the iterative approach, the function repeatedly runs until the condition is met, okay, or it fails. It involves the looping construct. Recursive, in the other hand, in the recursive approach, the function calls itself until the condition is met. It integrates the branches structure, okay, as we are going to see in the next topic, okay, iterative and recursive algorithm detail. See you then. Bye.